Good morning. It's Tuesday, October 25th. And while the Yankees down miserably in their attempt to reach the World Series, and the pandemic is slowing, but our responses to the slowdown is not moving the way it should be. We're not preparing to fight additional pandemics that may arise. And while these things have happened, the National Space Agency, NASA, is assembling a team to gather data on UAPs. A UAP is an Unidentified Aerial Phenomena. Now, ever since I was a little boy, there were people who were always worried about UFOs, unidentified flying objects. But now we call them UAPs. And there's a great excitement at the Space Agency about this study that they are about. They're preparing to put together 16 scientists, and they're going to study the skies for at least 9 months to see if they can identify these UAPs and figure out how they occur, where they occur, and they're continuing to look at the possibility of life on other planets or other asteroids or whatever is out there. So I don't know how they could put a time limit of 9 months on this project. I think that this could go on for a long, long time. So if you're looking at events in the sky that cannot be identified as an aircraft or a known natural phenomenon like an asteroid or something, and you're looking at this thing with a scientific perspective, I don't think the time limit is appropriate. And I'll tell you another thing that's amazing. The agency said this is only going to cost around $100,000. Now, I'm assuming that $100,000 is above and beyond the salaries that they will be paying these scientists. But $100,000 in today's day and age, the way projects are built, is a drop in the bucket. So let it go 18 months for $200,000. Let it continue as long as it has to. And I'm sure that's exactly what will happen. They will find some UAP, some phenomenon that has not been recognized before. And then they will continue their study. So this study is going to start shortly, because they call it beginning in the fall. Well, we're in the fall already. And they gave it a lifespan of 9 months. Like a pregnancy. So while I thought that the costs were unbelievably low, we must recognize some other things about NASA. NASA has the tools of scientific discovery, and they already exist, and they can be applied here. They have access to a broad range of observations of Earth from space. So they're already out there in space with things that are looking at our planet. So now, what if we're reversing the process of those things that are searching space for our planet and put them out there to search for these UAPs? Maybe that's why it's not going to be that expensive. They claim they have the tools and the team that can help us improve our understanding of the unknown. So a lot of things that NASA is depending on are already in place. This is not a project that is going to start from scratch. They are assembling a group of scientists that already are working for them, and they are assembling all the tools that are available at their disposal. And that's what they do. They claim that's what they do, search. So they're going to be out there looking for these UAPs. And in addition to looking for the UAPs, they're also going to be looking for life, other life out there in the universe. And that's a long-standing project to discover if there was life on Mars at some point in time, or life on some other planet. But I think in many cases, life on some of those other planets is unrealistic. The temperatures are too high or too low to sustain any life form as we know it. But what if there are other life forms? Things that we haven't imagined yet. I leave that to those who write science fiction. Another reason that the costs may be so low is because there are many observations already in place. And so the first task, they said, was they're going to gather the most robust set of data that we can. So they're going to be looking at information that already exists. And they're going to try to identify what data from civilians, from governments, from non-profit organizations, from companies already exists that they can analyze and get a feel for what might be applied to these unidentified aerial phenomena. And this project has government approval because there was a meeting back in May that nobody ever heard about. And that meeting took place to discuss this controversial topic. Now, this topic has been long in existence, but it's always been relegated to the fringes of public policy. But now, apparently, the government officials have stepped forward and stated that UAPs must be investigated, and they must be taken seriously, because they, in their narrow minds, view these as a threat to national security. And that may be true, because we do have enemies out there who are capable of putting a UAP up in space to observe us, in addition to the things that we've already put up in space to observe them. So space is cluttered with objects that could be considered dangerous UAPs. And so now NASA is about to track them down and see what intelligence they can figure out from the community that exists out there observing space. So it's about time we paid real attention to this and got our mind off the pandemic, I guess. And of course, let's not forget that NASA really is searching for life out in space too. So I say good for NASA, good for the United States, good for the fact that it's not going to cost us billions and billions of dollars. And let's hope we get some useful information out of this project. And let's hope that it is relevant and that we are well informed on its progress. So I leave you with that this morning. Something great maybe is about to happen. Bye.